This is just AMZN on Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. Had a really nice bearish open, pushed down really quickly, and then recovered nicely with this hammer, pushed up a little bit, and then came right into some resistance here, which didn't come up from pre-market like we had pre-market yesterday, but this level was really in line with kind of the hammer here, the location that I showed yesterday down on like the 1 minute over in here. Like we really came right back into that level, and so this retest here, I think, was more of um, a retracement up to old support that now is acting as new resistance. And that range, it's not exactly a certain dollar amount. Even the candles I was showing on the 1 minute didn't play out exactly, um, but it just seems like it's that area. So you had a really good kind of, I want to say stair step, but it's a little too wide for stair step. It's a really good area right in here, right around 1806, 1807, and kept retesting with these wicks. Almost touched the 21. That would have made it a little bit better had it came right into the 21 and then just dropped. Well, it came close and then it did drop. Pushed lower, made a lower low. You should have been taking profits down here. So if you missed this entry, and hopefully you got out down here, there wasn't really any other good bearish move the rest of the day. The one that I was looking at and lost small on was this and this triangle. Not very symmetric, but as it started to roll down here, broke through the 21, I was getting bearish, and then with this stair step, this definitely being a stair step here, expecting that to break lower, it retested the 21 and then went lower, which made lower low and lower high from this candle, but ultimately retested further into kind of the apex of this triangle and then pushed a bit higher and didn't roll over at all. So I had moved my stop tighter just to lose a little bit less than an R, and that's what happened over here. But if you had the opportunity to trade closer to the open, looking at the puts in here, it really held nicely in the 10 by 9 range. And I mean, you could have gotten in on the first couple of wicks there, or just had an order sitting out after that, and it came right back into 10 by 9. Got really close to getting stepped out at 9, but really had a nice move after it broke out above 10. So even if you had waited for this candle, it looks like maybe just above 10. Maybe you could have been filled at 10. I don't know. But that would have been really getting in on this candle, retesting way up here. Let's go even see if the 3 minute showed that as a better opportunity. I don't know. I didn't look down at the 3. Not particularly. Let's look at the 1 again and see if somehow there's probably something going on the 1. Let's see if we can zoom way in here. And sideways, started to break down, retested. I like the little triangle here, and then a breakdown, gaining momentum. It's got a squeeze on the 1 minute. I'm not sure how much bearing that has. You can see it held that as a resistance. So this would have been a really good risk to reward trade, especially because it could have easily made it back down to the 1800 and then the low of the day, and even pushed beyond that. So anyway, coming back up to the 5 minute, it's not something I'm usually diving into too much on a 1 minute on here, but something that I trade. So I want to show some of that. But yeah, really 10 by 9 was the way to go with this, and then exiting right up around 1350. So that would have been a nice 3R. And like I said, that was about it. The puts didn't really amount to much the rest of the day. The calls didn't really amount to much at all today. This is 1825 calls. And I mean, you would have had some opportunity to buy at kind of a low range, like around 350, and sell, but you would have only been selling at like 4. Not even 450, not even getting an R out of one contract. for the 1800 puts, we did get in the money on those, and so that was one reason that this shot up so quickly. But we came back down just below this, so really buying at 9, but maybe your stop was at 850. But it's still it didn't even move up to 10 to get 2R. It did here, but that one I don't know if you would have filled the exit there. And then pull back more. Really, the only other thing was into the close, where it kind of put in a nice base around 8, and that ran up to 9. But again, that's just scalping an R. So the best move was really right out the gate, or this quick pullback here. And one reason I was getting into this bearish here, because I said the last 3 days it's been sideways in the afternoon, really for 3 hours. I was really hoping that 3 hours had started already. This stretch from like 9:15, 9:20, like from here, I was hoping that it was done. That was the 3 hours like that. But no, it went for like 4.5 hours today, just going sideways the whole rest of the time. After like the first hour the first like 45 minutes of the day, the rest of the day was really just sideways. So that hopefully means something bigger's coming. We've just been grinding up. That is one thing to consider here. Let's see if we can move this back a little bit more on the 5 minute. It's going really slow. Oh, too far now. Okay. Kind of hard to see on the 5 minute. Let me draw the channel that's popping out. We just kind of connect some of this. We got some lows that are kind of guiding us higher. And the highs, pushed above this one, kind of back into it here. So it's somewhat range bound by this. That's just it's an uptrend. Let's see if maybe the 15 minute looks a little better. Yeah, it looks a little cleaner on the 15. You can tell you're range bound there. Let me redraw it a little, because it's a little too steep right here. Probably like this. Something like that, even maybe that high. Okay, let's that high, that low, that high, that low, 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 back up to that high. I like that. So that's kind of an uptrend that we've been in, just grinding up higher ever since we had this big push up, and then really just stayed up from 1747. So we've had some of these having a little bit of pressure come back down, but it's really just pushed us right back down into the support line. So let's see if I'm going to extend this. No, I'm not going to extend it because it never cooperates when I extend it. I'm going to leave it right here, and hopefully it doesn't jump with tomorrow's move. But I'm going to extend to the right. We'll look at this again and see. Okay, let's just look at just this on a 15. That's not fair. It's running off the screen. Oh, let's do that. Nope, not what I wanted. That's a little better. Okay, so 1815's been some resistance yesterday and for a while. If we can get an open that's still holding above this, and I don't know exactly, if this will just be pre-market, if it'll come all the way, I'm expecting. And this is usually after hours. Doesn't. Oops, that's not cool. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. Let's try this again. That's better. Okay. If this is after hours, that usually lasts about that long. Okay. Pre-market could be about that long. That would probably be here, which moves the open price to be right around like here, like 1803, 1804, if it opens right on this. Now, it doesn't have to do that, obviously. It opened right in the middle of the range today. So if we can get an open in the lower range and you get some buying to come in, continue with the trend. It could get bought back up, should run right into 1815. We'll see what it does there. If it pauses there, and the rest of the day just runs right into that same level. If we can end bearish, that'd be great. Having two bearish candles in a row, if we can get a move up, and get an upper wick, and that's a bearish candle, and then we gap above that Thursday or Friday, that'd be amazing to see. Should get some really nice continuation there and trap some bears. At this point, anything's possible. We could break down from this, but right now, we've been in this trend. Let's see if we continue it, and let's look for a trade to go bullish right out the gate, or something's changing. So I'll leave this on here, and we'll kind of take a look and see if anything plays out that in the next video or later this week. So hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.